My name is Sophie. Have you ever wondered if you had magic, what would it feel like? Well, I have wondered that question a lot of times, and maybe you have too. So today, I am going to do a book review on the book, The Magic Finger by ROALD DAHL. The main character, is this little girl over here. The book doesn't give her name, but that isn't really the point. The point is that she has a magic finger, her forefinger, and this forefinger has a sort of flash in it, so that when she sees red and she is very mad, a lightning bolt or something or other comes out of her finger and shoots at the person who has made her mad. This is a very cool power, but what exactly does it do? Does it just electrocute the person? Like those cartoons where you see people being electrocuted and all their hair stands on end? Well, that's not exactly what happens. In the book, there are other important characters like Philip, William, Mr. Greg, and Mrs. Greg. All four of them are a family, and they got the magic finger put on them. Now, let's just find some examples to show you what might happen. See, she used to have a teacher named Mrs. Winter. Now, the Mrs. Winter called her stupid, and look what happened to Mrs. Winter. She grows whiskers and a long, bushy, furry tail. What animal has a long, bushy, furry tail and whiskers? A cat, most likely. And that's kind of funny. There are other parts, like Mr. and Mrs. Greg getting put under the magic finger, and let's just say that's not very pleasant, as since they were shooting ducks, they were turned into ducks. Well, not ducks entirely. I like that the magic finger doesn't turn them into exactly it, they just mixed it up. You see, these four people flying in the air, instead of having arms, they have wings. You might think, oh, they get to fly, how fun would that be? But there are a lot of other dangers when you have wings and are very small. But that's just a book. I'm pretty sure there are no people flying around very tiny with wings instead of arms. But it's very funny to see these animals being mixed up with the humans. This girl really likes animals, and you're probably wondering, why would she do this to the Greg family? What did they do to make her mad? Well, it wasn't because Philip or William stole her favorite doll or anything like that. It was because in those days they hunted. Well, hunting little animals that aren't endangered aren't exactly illegal. They hunt deer and other common wild animals, and goose and geese and ducks. This time it was ducks that made her mad. Now, she doesn't exactly do things on purpose sometimes, but sometimes she does exactly when she's mad, but this time when she did it to the Gregs, she didn't mean to, which I'm glad, because it would be kind of mean if someone just wore a tutu that you didn't like and you said, oh, I have magic, I'll make that tutu person turn into a duck or a cow or something like that. My favorite part of this book, I think it's very funny. I'm going to find it and read it aloud to you. So here we go. I'm trying not to laugh my head off while I read this. Okay. At last the morning came, and with it the warm sun. Well, said Mrs. Greg, thank goodness that's over. I never want to sleep in a nest again. She got up and looked over the side. Help, she cried. Look down there. What is it, my love, said Mr. Greg. He stood up and peeped over the side. He got the surprise of his life. On the ground below them stood the four enormous ducks, as tall as men, and three of them were holding guns in their hands. One had Mr. Greg's gun, one had Philip's gun, and one had William's guns. The guns were all pointing right up at the nest. Look at these ducks. Aren't they enormous? Instead of wings, they have arms. I think that's very hilarious. But here comes the most funniest part. No, called out Mr. and Mrs. Greg both together. Don't shoot, please don't shoot. Why not, said one of the ducks. It was the one who wasn't holding a gun. You are always shooting at us. Oh, but that's not the same, said Mr. Greg. We are allowed to shoot ducks. Who allows you? Asked the duck. We We allow each other, said Mr. Greg. Very nice, said Doug. And now we are going to allow each other to shoot you. And here's a little girl says, I would have loved to have seen Mr. Greg's face just then. Oh, please, cried Mrs. Gregg. My 2 little children up here with us. You wouldn't shoot my children. Yesterday you shot my children, said the duck. You shot all 6 of my children. You see, these ducks are the ones who are shooting the people, the tiny people. And I can say it's pretty funny how the author reversed the thing. Like, the ducks are usually the ones being shot, and now it's the humans that are being shot out instead of the dogs. Now, these Greg people, don't worry, don't end up as a duck's breakfast, but let's just say that they got very changed and rattled after that. And I really liked this girl, and I really like her power too. And sometimes when people annoy me or make me mad, I wish I had a magic finger too. So I recommend you to read this book if you like magic and humor. Thank you for watching. Bye!